What's up, Christy? One Love Fellowship for Followers of Christ. Happy Friday the 13th. No, sir. Stop. Do you need your muzzle on? My dog's trying to misbehave. Of course, all the karmic energies are out 100-fold today, trying to screw up every little thing I try to do. One more time and you're going to get the calming cone. Anyway, I'm having a day. I was trying to have a good day, but there seem to be a lot of entities and energies that are invested in making sure that I have a bad day, which is really silly. And obviously, the easiest thing would be just to leave town, because the farther I am away from these energies, entities, and individuals, the less their energy can affect my reality, right? That's why they don't want me to leave. They act like I'm the problem, but they don't want me to leave, because once I'm gone, they can't play their games, which is literally like their whole world revolves around this game that they made up, that they made me like the butt of all their jokes or something, and they just get a kick out of like messing with me. Which is really dumb, because it says so much more about them than it does me. Anyway, I forgot to schedule an oil change, or didn't really forget, I just never got around to it. And also, I was guided to stay here, because leaving doesn't prove anything to anyone. And not that I personally have anything to prove to anyone. That's why I would rather leave. That way I can just have peace on my day, my 2 days actually, because it doesn't happen very often, and it doesn't happen again for 6 more years, and I will be 51 for my birthday to fall on the day of the week that I was born on, which means that Friday the 13th falls the day before, which it was 2/14 when I said that. People act like that's such a bad luck day, because I guess it's one of those things where the veil is thin, and so negative entities, their power appears to be magnified. Like things that we can do on any given Sunday, and it doesn't even have to be a Sunday, I was just saying that for the reference, but it can be literally any given Tuesday. And if we want to manifest, we can manifest, and they have to wait. They have to wait until the cycles come around, because otherwise the illusion of them having any power over us won't work. And that's all it is an illusion. It's an illusion. So anyway, it's annoying. Earlier, I was guided to stay, because if I stay and you see that it's not affecting me, you can slightly throw off my physical experience, but you can't really affect me. You can't get to my core. You can't force me to become like you. It's not, that I might slip up, 333. I might slip up and do something that I would have rather not done, and I might be upset about that, and I might cry about it, and I might pray, and I might ask for forgiveness, and I might beg God to take that energy away from me, because I am not like that, and I don't want to be like that. Do you know? But ultimately, you're not changing me. You're just adding to your own karma and reinforcing my connection with Source every time, because I'm always going to turn back to Source if I slip up, if I make a mistake, if I catch myself backsliding. That's the difference. That's the difference between redemption and whatever this fake Christianity is that everyone else likes to project. Like, true redemption, true salvation is when you recognize the error of your ways, and you work diligently and intentionally to overcome those things, to not only not do them anymore, but to actively work to stop them being done to others, and to repair any damages you might have done. And if in any given moment you slip up and you make a mistake, say you spank your dog because he got triggered by a squirrel and then jumped in your front seat, which he knows better than to do in a moment when you were already stressed to the max. And, it was just waiting to see if the straw was going to break the camel's back. I apologize. At the same time, consider the fact that you're all actively involved in attempting to manifest the worst in me. Think about that for a second. Think about the mentality behind a group, an entity, an individual who wishes to purposely drive out the worst in others, who wishes to purposely project negativity and darkness onto others in order to manifest those individuals behaving in a negative and dark manner. What's really the problem in this scenario? Is it an individual ever actually succumbing to that energetic pressure? Or is it the fact that individuals, entities, organizations, and institutions exist with this goal? What are you doing if your goal in life is to ruin everything for everyone else? It's just crazy. So yes, I was ugly crying in the car earlier, and yes, I forgot that I had on mascara. And I was begging God to take the anger out of my body, to take the 655, the negative energy and the rage and the toxicity and all of that out of my body. It wasn't mine. I knew it wasn't mine. Please take it from me. Lead me back to you. I don't want to be this. And I don't want to be angry with you because I'm like this right now. So immediately the sun started shining in my eyes. And my eyes were pulled down to the clock. And the time on the clock was 4:20. So yeah, God works in mysterious ways. Source works in mysterious ways. And I'm just not concerned with the opinions of those who think they know God better than Christ themselves. Like, how do you actually have the audacity to think that you somehow know God and Jesus better than they know themselves? Just saying. And then, yes, I did not realize or consider the fact that I had on mascara, not waterproof, when I cried. And so the streaks were all over my face, which is why I don't wear mascara, by the way, because I tend to have random outbursts of emotions, especially when I get a minute alone in the midst of a stressful day. So, like instead of constantly having to deal with that situation, it's easier to just not wear it in the first place. And the thing is I made several stops. And I told this full story to someone along the way, and they still didn't bother to be like, by the way, you need to... So yeah, I walked into a restaurant to take myself out on a date, not realizing that I had a tear-streaked, mascara-stained face. And no one said anything. And when I went to the bathroom and washed my hands, I didn't even look at myself in the mirror close enough to realize. Which is the thing, is I don't know if anyone else actually realized it either. I had on my glasses and my hood for my hoodie. So maybe no one else even noticed it. And it just made me feel awkward when it was pointed out to me by energy inside my brain. The energy is letting me know that they are not necessarily inside of my brain. In other words, the energy could be external. I'm interpreting it internally via my own energy. It was 10:01. What's crazy to me is that you guys are totally fine with things like genetic modification and guns that shoot DNA into genes and CERN and all of this stuff, but the concept of telepathy, energetic communication, being able to actually communicate with not just humans that have crossed over, but like plants, animals, elements, inanimate objects, even if you think about it. That seems crazy. That's what's funny to me. It's like we've conditioned ourselves to think that the completely absurd is normal, and the universal truths are absurd. Meanwhile, those in control who are destroying everything for everyone in order to enrich themselves, they go by universal law. Like, that's what they do. That's what they worship. That's what they teach 1111 to each other in their secret societies, is this concept of universal law. And then immediately that if you're not a part of the club, you're supposed to suppress this and make anyone who attempts to talk about it in open public seem crazy. Like, imagine that. Imagine, venture capitalists or whatever using astrology to play the stock market while simultaneously paying people to, like, reject the concept of astrology as a serious science, as a serious practice. Because, of course, they don't want you to consider the fact that planetary alignments and the energies resulting from those alignments actually do affect things. And if you pay attention to the patterns, you can pretty much start to predict outcomes. Like, no, why would they want other people knowing that? You know, that's a real thing that happens. And not only is it a real thing that happens, it's a real thing that they utilize for their own selfish gain at your expense, while convincing you that you're crazy if you actually utilize it for good. It was 12:36. My dog is very impatient right now, and apparently I'm rambling quite a bit. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this short because I don't even know what I'm talking about right now. Not in the way that you took that. What I mean is, I won't know until I play this back what this stream of consciousness was actually all about. I don't know who this will help, but I hope it helps someone today. Just remember, you are loved. You are forgiven. You can be saved, no matter who you are, no matter where you are, no matter what you've done or what's been done to you. You can repent. You can repair. You can be redeemed. 1313, much love.